Good morning from San Felipe, Mexico. It's really windy outside, so today's video is going to be done from our comfortable couch.
So yesterday's video, we told you to ask some questions, and we do a Q&A session this morning, so let's get started.
Yep. The first question comes from Bill. Do you regret not bringing your toys?
That's a big hearty yes. But it was a hasty decision to come to Mexico. We decided on the spur of the moment, and getting insurance for the ATV and trailer wasn't feasible on that particular day. So we left the toys at home and...
You need to do more research on insuring the ATV for theft and stuff.
But we still had a great time, and, we've walked everywhere.
We're still having a great time.
Yeah. Definitely we'll bring them next time, though.
We'll figure out a way of doing it. Now that we have a secure location that we know we can come into, have a place to park the trailer remotely or even right behind us, that's a big thing, knowing what you're getting into. So, yeah, we do regret them, but we'll bring them next time.
Yep. All right, so AC Orbit and a couple of other people have inquired about the fact that the Mexican government raised the price of fuel on January 1st. And he asks about the prices in San Felipe.
I have to admit, I have not closely looked at the fuel prices because we have not had to pay for fuel. Maybe in one of our other videos, I drove past the fuel station.
But it has been big news here. Everybody's talking about it.
It's the talk of the country,
it is,
to be honest.
Yeah.
Some places are taking it better than others.
Yeah.
There's protests and demonstrations, social media campaigns. It is a very big deal down here.
Yeah.
And what we do know about the price increase is somewhere between 14 and 20%, and then it gets into politics from there.
But it's been really quiet here in San Felipe.
Yeah.
People are talking about it, but we haven't seen any demonstrations.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Any of those sorts of things. It's an interesting topic, though, considering what minimum wage is in this country to raise the fuel prices that much.
That's a big hit.
It's a hardship on the locals.
The next question comes from GolfNet, asking for some before and after pics of the wax job. That's a little bit of an interesting one that Beck can share some feedback on.
Well, the long and short of it is, it was a good washing. It's got 2 coats of wax on it. It could use a little bit of a better polish job than it got. But for the price, getting it washed and getting 2 coats of wax on it was a heck of a deal. And we can deal with getting it polished a little better.
Yeah, I think actually just washing it will get the rest of that wax off. And yeah, no big deal.
So Larry and Blaze asked questions about fishing. Does Victor have a boat to take you fishing, and how is the fishing? We'll let Benjamin answer that.
They do have a boat, but it's their personal family boat. They don't have a commercial fishing charter. But there is fishing here. It's not going to be like your tropical tuna, yellowtail, and dorado. It's going to be more bottom fish. Good white sea bass fishing from what I've heard, and it's anywhere between $50 and $60 a person to go fishing. Now that guy on the Malecon told us $60 a person, but Victor, he knows a guy, and keep in mind when you travel, you always know a guy who knows a guy. And he said $50, so $50 to $60 a person to take a fishing charter, and that includes your fishing license. But I also researched that you don't need a fishing license if you're fishing from the shore in Mexico. So I'm going to, one of these days while we're here, if not multiple days, just go right here to the beach, cast a line out, and see what bites. I do know that there's corvina here, and that could be a fun fish to catch. Moving on, Jonathan asks if we found any 50 amp RV parks down here.
Honestly, we can run on 30 amps with our RV, so we haven't specifically looked or asked.
Yeah.
However, I will say that each of the RV parks that we contacted were very quick to respond by email And any of the questions that we asked, they came back with an answer. So I'm sure that you could email and ask them.
And I think probably we'll walk into some of these other RV parks one of these days just for the sake of something cool to explore and see what they're like.
So RV Chiefs Prevo asks, how close is the nearest grocery store or Walmart?
Grocery store, well, okay, market is where I'll start. There's a little market maybe a quarter mile away. There's bigger grocery stores about a mile away. And then maybe a mile and a half away is a Cali Max, which is more of a supermarket. And then if you want a Walmart, I believe you're going to have to go to Mexicali. I'm pretty sure I've seen one as we were driving through there. The next question comes from Bill, and he's inquiring about the water, wondering if it's salty like the Pacific side of Baja.
We're not 100% sure about this, but one would deduce, based on the issues that you know exist in the Arizona areas just north of here with people with the water being salty, that it probably is here as well. The place that we went and got water in town, it tastes great.
Yeah.
And it's
But that's a big commercial
they've
drinking
got,
water facility.
and they've got a huge filter you can see in the window and filtering machine.
Yeah.
I will say that when you brush your teeth with the water here, it doesn't taste salty. So RV Legal Eagles and Paws asks, I saw on another YouTube channel that you cannot get a visitor's permit or authorization for vehicles weighing over 7,000 pounds as they are considered commercial. Is there any truth to that?
I kind of feel like I'm giving this answer a lot today, but I don't know. But what I do know, we've never had any problems. All the people we've spoken with that are expats, Canadians, Americans, foreigners, they haven't had any problems.
I don't think that there's truth to that, but I would research it further.
It could be in effect, but not enforced.
Or it could be that motorhomes and RVs and trailers are exempt from it because they know it's a living space. I mean, it's obvious this isn't a commercial vehicle.
Don't know for sure, but we've never heard of anybody having a problem with it. We've gotten some great questions today.
Yeah.
Jim asks, how long may you stay and keep your U.S. citizenship? That's kind of a two-part question.
It is. So, to answer the first part, keeping your U.S. citizenship, you can always keep your U.S. passport. You can move overseas and never come back, and you can be a U.S. citizen. You can choose to change your citizenship. There's a few places that will still allow you to do dual citizenship, but that's rare unless you were born there or had kids born there. But what I think you're probably getting at is how long can you stay here without a visa?
Yeah.
That is technically 6 months. I will say, however, that nobody checks or stamps your passport when you come down here in an RV, so there's no way that they'd have any knowledge of how long you've been here when you come back into the States, although they do ask you how long you've been here. So you wouldn't want to stay more than 6 months without getting a visa. All right, so we're going to wind things up here with Janet's question. It's the last one. She asks if we were afraid of coming across the border into Mexico.
No, not at all. You said you're from San Diego or spent some time there. I spent a lot of time there. I grew up there, and I don't know. I guess I have an adventurous side, but I'm comfortable with it. It's always been in my backyard, so I know there's problems, but there's problems in the States. There's neighborhoods I wouldn't want to drive through or walk through at night in the States. So I think you just got to keep things in perspective that there's always bad stuff that's going to get highlighted by the media, but yet there's a ton of good stuff.
I also think that it's pertinent to bring up the fact that we don't do these things willy-nilly. We make calculated decisions, we make good choices, we do our homework and our research, and we know what we're getting into and how and problems that we might encounter so that we can be prepared for them. If you know what can come up and you're prepared for it, then it's not a surprise and you can manage it. It's the being unprepared that can lead to problems, or not researching and knowing what you're getting yourself into.
Now, I will also say in the next handful of days, we're going to do a video specific to RV travel in Mexico and some of the things that we've learned.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can do that one outside instead of stuck on our mighty comfortable couch.
It's not the cold that's keeping us in, it's the breeze.
Yeah, if you guys
Very
want to hear
breezy.
us, we got to be inside today.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.